Good morning. This is Seeker the Scotch coming at you live with Ace Attorney Investigations. So last time I had no idea of what was happening. I had no memory of what had occurred previously, and my inventory of evidence was pitifully small, containing the bare minimum needed to piece it together what had happened originally, and nothing needed to piece together what had happened since. Needless to say, I struggled a bit for a while, and then I stopped playing after getting a bit tired of it. But today is different. We're going to get through this chapter. We'll probably stop there, even if it's really short stream. And tomorrow, or at least next time I stream, I'll probably do something else. Not because I don't want to keep doing this. I do enjoy this, but I want to fall out of the habit of starting a game and then playing only that until it's done. So, who knows what it'll be. Probably something off of my list on my About page. But for now, I should get back into it. Also, I've changed my encoding settings again in the hopes that maybe the latency is better this time, because last time it was, I think, nearly 3 minutes by the time we ended the stream. And hopefully it'll not be that bad this time. So this is the last room we need to check. Maybe there's something behind that painting. I think what we're looking for here is evidence that one of them left. Probably. I'm not entirely certain what we should be hoping for, but hopefully that'll make itself clear. But what is this incredibly overpowering sweet scent? It smells like flowers. Uncle Bad, is this it? Isn't that Detective Bad and Kay over there? It looks like she managed to escape the bailiff. No, that's not quite it. Ah, too bad, but it's so pretty. I think you're still a bit too young to be wearing that. But since you found it, I guess I can let you keep it. Thanks, I'll treasure it always. Those two seem to get along rather well. He's not a stranger. Okay, that's important to note. Are we gonna have to prove their connection based on the fact that she took that? Maybe. Oh, here. I've got something else for you. Yay, thank you, Uncle Bad. Earlier, I ate one of these with Gummy. Gummy? Oh, you mean Gumshoe. Gummy is... He was trying to be nice to me because I was going to get in trouble. And then he got in trouble because he lied to protect me. Gummy. I know he didn't kill Daddy. Don't cry. Faraday would be sad if he saw you crying. I'm not crying. Okay. Oh, it's the mister from before and the lady too. Don't you think it would be a good idea for you to go home for the time being? You're not involved in the investigation, so it's for the best if you do. Oops, stuttered there. Actually, I'm Uncle Bad's assistant, so I'm related to the investigation. Is that so, Detective Bad? Yeah, I guess. Oh, what? You were just scolding us like kids to not mess up the crime scene, and now you let this child run free? Why? People are free to investigate things outside of the actual crime scene. You also had a few things you wanted to look into. Got a problem with that? I don't have a problem with that, but I am curious as to what Miss Yu is looking into. Uncle Bad, I'm gonna go look somewhere else now, okay? Alright, I'm counting on you. Oh, that's right. Hey, mister. Yes, what is it? I know Gummy isn't really the bad guy. I mean it. So, please, find the real bad guy, okay? I won't forgive whoever did this. But in the absence of the perfect piece of testimony and evidence, there's no one else who could be the true culprit other than Detective Gumshoe. She wandered off while I was pondering. Oh, that's a bad habit, Edgeworth. Something on the table, the potted plant, and the painting is very suspicious to me. Can I inspect it though? Or is it gonna be the couch? That expensive painting is ill-suited to be hanging on the wall of this room. I wonder if a guard detail should be placed on it. Why do you say that? Well, a desperate low-paid detective might make off with it someday. You never know. She may be thinking about hiring a guard, but it's obvious she isn't factoring that guard's salary whatsoever. This decorative plant's leaves are shinier than the ones in the plant in lobby number 2. That's probably because it's next to the windows where it's easier to photosynthesize. You may be right. Plus the curtains are always drawn in lobby number 2. The caretakers of this courthouse don't think enough about the plants, do they? That's because they're the courthouse's caretakers, not a bunch of botanists. Okay, how about this? What an incredibly strong-scented herbal tea. I fear that more than being relaxing, the scent may make one a bit heady instead. You put in a special request for that. No wonder she's so violent if she's been drinking this stuff the whole time. Oh, interesting. Neither women should be allowed to comment on this particular topic either. Ever. Ugh, I'm stuttering so much. Oh, it's terrible. I suppose it's trying to get us to talk to Bad, so we should go ahead and do that. Detective Bad, what exactly was Kay searching for? Nothing that concerns you, boy. Oh, and I suppose it has something to do with Kay? It does, because she's Faraday's daughter. Anyway, hurry up and get to the point. I don't have time to waste. It sounds like he'd rather be left alone. I have something I'd like to confirm with you once again. I don't have anything to say to you. Ah, tut-tut. Be that as it may, we still have questions that we need answers to. Now then, first of all, what is this overpowering smell that is permeating this room? Upon entering this room, I thought I was going to suffocate. It's that ultra-strong perfume you wears. She'd spilled some of it. I was having a bad time of it myself. I didn't think twice and opened the window. But that smell's still here. Perfume, huh? So the sweet scent in the air is perfume. Well, it's giving off quite a stench. I bet it's some cheap no-name brand. She said it's a famous brand from overseas. It's a knockoff. Yes, definitely a knockoff. No disrespect, but she forced one of those bottles on me. Here, little girl. You can have it. I was born from a much more expensive and refined perfume. However, seeing as how you just happen to have a spare, I suppose I'll take it. Miles Edgeworth, you will hold on to this bottle without fail. Why can't she ever be honest about her once? Same perfume as the one spilled in lobby number 1. I did not remember that occurred. Okay, that's useful to know. So now we have the perfume Miss Yu wears. Just fantastic. Is that all you wanted to talk about? If so, I'm going back to investigating. Actually, I still have a few other things I wish to inquire about. So, you were in this room the entire recess. Like I said, I made a call to the precinct to get that big lug down here. But other than that, I was waiting for the recess to end in here. At least your story is consistent. Earlier, you stated that you were in this lobby with Miss Yu. Yeah, I ran into her in the hallway. She said she wanted to talk to me about something, so we came in here. Then what you're saying is that until Detective Gumshoe's arrival, you and Miss Yu were in 2 different locations? Yes I am. Interesting. Speaking of that lawyer, she seems to have a great dislike for you. Ugh. Let's see, Miss Yu is a sister of the victim of the KG-8 incident, and as I recall, Detective Bad was the lead detective on the case. I wonder if the reason for her disdain isn't simply because you failed to guard Cece, but because you were the lead detective on the case. You know? I also know that today's trial involving the Cadopian Embassy staff member is being referred to as the second KG-8 incident. Now then, Detective, I believe it's time you were honest with me, and told me the truth behind your relationship with Miss Yu and Mr. Faraday. About the KG-8 incident. Who was spaced out there. If you already know that much, I guess it'd be alright to tell you. Oh, it's changed, okay. Now then, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the KG-8 incident. It's not exactly a happy story. Other than the people who were directly involved, you two will be the first to hear what I'm about to tell. How is it so famous if everything about it is secret? The honest truth behind the KG-8 incident. Faraday, you and I, as you already know, we three were involved in the KG-8 incident. Faraday and I were originally on the trail of a smuggling ring. You mean the smuggling case involving one of the Amano Group's secretaries? That trial was just a front. A facade? Yeah. But the case became tainted. All because the witness who was going to testify about the Amano Group's ties to the smuggling ring, CCU, was killed. Then, what became of the secretary who was arrested? His name was Colin Deveray. To be honest, the guy didn't know a thing about the smuggling ring. But he confessed to knowing about it anyway. Deveray was probably being intimidated by the big boss man, just another scapegoat. The boss man of the Amano Group? You can't seriously mean Mr. Ernest Amano. That can't be right. It's probably just Detective Bad's personal hypothesis. What is he trying to do, suspecting Mr. Amano of being involved with smuggling? I suppose it would have been quite difficult to secure an acquittal after he confessed. But the man who killed CCU, Manny Cochin, was a completely different person. But since he's already been acquitted once for murder, Mr. Faraday, how could you have let him go? If I remember correctly, I heard that Mr. Faraday had an important piece of evidence stolen from him. That wasn't Faraday's fault. It was mine. I wasn't vigilant enough. Faraday, Cece, I was supposed to protect them both. Miss Yu did mention that as well, about how Detective Bad was supposed to guard her sister. But even I, who was supposed to protect them, I fell into their trap. What kind of trap? The holes in this jacket are a testament to that trap. You mean, you were fired upon? Those are big holes, if you're being shot at. You were shot that many times in one gunfight? No. Only about half of these are from that case. But the reason I continue to wear this jacket is to remind myself of the lessons I learned from the KG-8 incident. I see. I couldn't protect CCU, and the suspect was found not guilty. We had hit a brick wall, as far as the law was concerned, and that's when she came to the courtroom, the victim's sister. That's when I first met Callisto Yu. About when you first met Miss Yu, it was on the day of the verdict of the KG-8 incident was handed down, was it not? Yes. Faraday and we apologized to her from the bottom of our hearts. It was all we could do, but just saying you're sorry won't bring my sister back, she said. And then she gave me a hard slap across the face. Well, she certainly had a lot of self-control to stop at just a slap. If it was me, not even 100 lashes would have been punishment enough. I suppose not. You said it herself, that she never wanted to see either of us ever again. But after that, you've seen her many times over, correct? Yeah, Faraday and I, even after the KG-8 incident had come to a close, we continued to hunt down the smuggling ring, and got involved in a variety of cases. But it was of no use. We cracked so many different cases, but the results were always the same. They couldn't find the real mastermind behind the ring. Is the ring really that big? It was in the pursuit of the ring that we met you once again. It was during another trial related to the smuggling ring. Faraday was the prosecutor, and I, as the lead detective, took to the witness stand. She appeared out of the blue as the defense attorney. Her client was related to the smuggling ring, and she was defending them. Yeah. Yu was pursuing the ring as best she could as a lawyer. I think she defended Rel this time for the same reason. Come to think of it, Miss Yu did say something of the same effect. I have my own agenda. I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding the KGA incident, alright? And for that, you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer. Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. The only way I had to get close to Mr. Rel was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him. Ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. It doesn't matter what her reason is. Helping a criminal is just despicable. You're so naive, little girl. I could have stolen this lollipop from you. That's how naive you are. How dare you insult the daughter of Ivan Karma? Just like us, you felt like she had hit the limit of what the law could do. That's all. The law is merely a tool. There is no limit to it, only the skill of the craftsman. You two are still too young, but one day you'll know what I mean. But enough sidetracking. What matters is that we met you again in pursuit of the smuggling ring. That's all. So what was your relation to Mr. Faraday? You even seem to know Kay fairly well. I met him when he was a rookie prosecutor. Known him ever since. And Kay, I've known her since the day she was born. Faraday and I, we cracked quite a few cases together. But you two seem to have made no progress at all in the Yatagarasu case. Did we touch a nerve? I only have one thing to say to you. No one knew more about the Yatagarasu than me and Faraday. That's why I was called upon to testify in today's trial. To prove that Rel was not the real Yatagarasu. Which I would have done if he hadn't turned around and accused Faraday. After the accusation, I was asked to testify, but this time, to prove or disprove the accusation. But I guess I won't be doing that either. I sense that there's more to that statement than meets the eye. Perhaps a bit more digging into the Yatagarasu is what's necessary. Okay. Things are starting to come together, I think. You claim to know much about the Yatagarasu. Would you care to share what you know with me? What you two should be looking for right now is proof of murderous intent towards Faraday and Rel. I agree, which is exactly why I am asking you about the Yatagarasu. What? The KG-8 incident and this second KG-8 incident? Both of these cases are tied to the smuggling ring. And in both of these cases, the witness who was to testify about the ring was murdered. However, there is one point in which they differ. And that is the presence or absence of the great thief Yatagarasu. Mr. Rel claimed to be the Yatagarasu, however, in the middle of the trial, he suddenly declared Mr. Faraday to be the real Yatagarasu. Then, during the recess, they were both killed. Don't you find that to be the least bit odd? Miles Edgeworth, stop beating around the bush and just spit it out already. I believe that there must be some reason that the two men suspected of being the Yatagarasu were both killed at the same time. A reason, huh? And so, in order to catch Mr. Faraday's and Mr. Rel's cold-blooded killer, I feel that I need to learn as much as I can about the Yatagarasu. If it will help you solve this case. And I'll tell you the reason why we've never caught the Yatagarasu. What was that sudden outburst for? You almost made me whip you by accident. And it still accidentally whipped me anyways. There are three main reasons why the Yatagarasu will always be one step ahead. First, the Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. Third, the Yatagarasu doesn't leave behind a single shred of evidence, ever. I see. So those are the Yatagarasu's special traits. Sounds like an incredibly elusive thief. Yatagarasu has never been caught on tape, never tries to draw anyone's attention, and would never do something as lowbrow as commit murder. That's how I knew that Rel wasn't the real Yatagarasu right away. But you can't use that sort of logic on its own to prove that he wasn't. Listen, little girl, I'm not done talking yet. What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police. And the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kodopian embassy, the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu sent the evidence? Until now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others knew about. In that case, how can you be so sure it was the Yatagarasu who sent it? That's easy. A special card that only the Yatagarasu uses was attached. That's how I can be so sure. And just what sort of card is it? Here, take a look at this article. Whenever the Yatagarasu wants to publicize something, a white card is sent along with the stolen information. But when we questioned Rel about what was sent along with the white card, Rel had no idea what it was. Why is the calling card made public? I mean, I guess if it's being going through the mass media, they don't have a choice, but having a calling card be publicly known seems like a great way to get imposters, which might be happening right now. And that's how Detective Bad knew Mr. Rel was a phony. Thank you very much. I have a much better understanding of the Yatagarasu now. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes. His Honor would like to transfer the evidence from the day's trial over to you. So if you could please head to the courtroom, it'd be much appreciated, sir. Understood. I'll be there shortly. Detective Bad, what does the law mean to you? Finding the answer to that question is the only reason I'm still alive. I said that weird. I became a prosecutor to find the answer to that question myself, and to play a part in it ensuring that all criminals everywhere are found guilty. Okay, let's see. Envelope, notebook, knife, gun. We probably already had those, but what's the paper on the other side? Oh, it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, it appears that His Honor is still a bit dispirited. For the first time today, I experienced what it's like to stand at the witness stand. I now have a greater appreciation for just how hard it is to give testimony. Well, there's no reason for you to be all depressed about it, Your Honor. As a judge, no one expects you to think about anything other than what the verdict. Franziska, there's no need to further depress His Honor. But I'm not trying to, Miles. Your Honor. Your Honor, I've come to collect the evidence that was to be transferred to me. Your Honor, the evidence. Your Honor! Oh, you! Yes, can I help you? I'd like to collect the evidence now, sir. Your Honor, do you think you can stay focused long enough to at least do your job? Yes, I'm sorry. And I would expect that the defense attorney has yet to arrive. She is busy with the investigation, so let's keep this brief, shall we? Very well. In that case, please confirm that all the pieces of evidence are present. Furthermore, the evidence that was used in the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel are also included, so please go ahead and use them in your investigation into your case. Understood, Your Honor. The pieces of evidence that were used in the murder of those two men. This could be a very good chance for me to find new leads regarding their case. Maybe even something that will finally lead me to the truth. I've placed all the evidence over at the prosecutor's bench for you. I see. Thank you very much. I'll go and confirm that they are all accounted for. Nope, I accidentally left the room. I wanted to see... Oh, and the music changed. What's this? Evidence that Miss Yu prepared is just sitting here on the table. You know you can't just walk off with it, right? Of course I do. Miss Yu must have been caught off guard by your client's sudden accusation. I wonder how she would have defended Mr. Rel in that case if he was still alive. Alright, guess I can't look at it. That's fine. So, this is the evidence related to today's Cadopian Embassy trial from Mr. Faraday's bag. You mean the evidence bag that was on the table in lobby number 2, right? Yes. Finally, we can now take a look at the evidence itself and not just data about them. Oh, okay, so this was in lobby number 2. The gun was in there. Did I already know that the gun was used? Okay, I already did. Good. Let's be sure to thoroughly examine them while we have the time. Agreed. I want to take a good look at all the evidence from the embassy murder, too. And why is that? Because I still don't have fully understand what today's trial was about. What? Don't point your crop at me just because you don't know something. And don't you try to order me around just because Papa chose you today. I see someone is still sore about not being picked by Mr. Von Karma. It's also real to see the knife up close. So, we have the knife, the gun, and envelope. And what's this organizer doing here? Oh, that's right. I completely forgot to tell you. About what, Your Honor? They found Mr. Faraday's personal organizer inside that evidence bag of his. Detective Bad requested it be passed along to you. He said it would help the investigation. Detective Bad said that? What a strange stroke of luck. Well, never look a gift horse in the mouth. We might as well flip through it, too. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious nook and cranny. Well, let's start with the envelope. Took a quick look through these documents before the trial started. Well, I wasn't even afforded an opportunity to skim it. I suppose I should explain it to you then. Yes, you should. Perfectly and in its entirety, if you please. On the night of September 8th, an embassy staff member was killed in front of the embassy. The staff member died of shock due to being shot in the heart. Mackerel was brought in that night as a suspect and thoroughly questioned, because the murder weapon was found on him, for which he was arrested on the spot. A simpleton of a man, that's what he was. Perhaps he was, for the weapon wasn't the only incriminating evidence we had. Mr. Rel was caught in the act on film by a security camera. He was an even bigger simpleton than I thought. I can't believe he didn't notice a security camera. The Cadopian Embassy's security system is supposedly very well designed. He may have simply not been aware that there was a camera in the area. So, have you seen the contents of the video for yourself? Yes, the surveillance video the security camera took was played during the trial by Mr. Faraday. You can clearly identify Mr. Rel on it. Even the sound of the gunshot was crystal clear. So the footage included sound, huh? I don't think I'd ever want to see the moment of someone's death in real life. Me neither. Okay, well, we found out where the gunshot came from. Yeah? The video. This gun was originally used to kill the Cadopian Embassy staff member. When the crime was reported, the responding police found Mr. Rel still holding it, which led to his immediate arrest. And then this gun took the original shooter's life. How ironic. Indeed. There doesn't seem to be anything else we can learn from this piece of evidence. And I tried to click on the knife, but apparently the bag does not count. It's the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. Who would have thought that such a beautiful piece of art could be used for such a cruel act? And it's never crossed your mind that you use your writing crop for the wrong purpose? Okay, I suppose the only thing we have to note here is the book, then. Mr. Faraday's organizer. It appears he was in the habit of using it. It looks like he wrote his strategy for getting Mr. Rel convicted down in here. I've collected the evidence I need to prove that Rel was the killer. Between the handgun Rel had on him when he was arrested and the surveillance tape, I should be able to prove that he was the one. Well, it's pretty simple. It appears that Mr. Faraday honestly believed Mr. Rel was the killer in that case. The sound of his handgun going off was recorded with superb quality on the surveillance video. I also have evidence that I can use to prove that Rel is not the real Yatagarasu. And it would also appear that he had proof that Mr. Rel was not the Yatagarasu. No matter how he may try to play it, as long as I have the Yatagarasu's key, I can prove he's a phony. If I can present it to him in court, it should clear up everything. And he apparently also had a very definitive piece of evidence. It's been a long battle. I hope this will finally bring it to an end. Yes, I believe that Mr. Faraday was well prepared to discredit any claim Mr. Rel may have made about being the real Yatagarasu. And he had a way to prove that Mr. Rel was the guilty party in the embassy murder. This organizer is a clue straight from Mr. Faraday. I'll have to take my time and give it a thorough read later. Didn't I just read it, the whole thing? Oh, look, there's a picture stuck in between the pages here. Let me check the organizer. Does it really have anything extra in it? No, it does not. Oh, okay, there's the key. It appears to be a key. Why does that look familiar? Probably just because there's a lot of wooden handles in this chapter, huh? Okay, that design is different. Huh. Is it just me? Or is this a butterfly knife? That is 100% a butterfly knife. Yeah, okay, so we have the key with us right now. And a rather ornate one at that. Just look at the design on the handle. The craftsmanship is superb. Could this be the Yatagarasu's key Mr. Faraday mentioned in his organizer? The Yatagarasu's key? Detective Bad said something else earlier. What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police, and the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kodopian embassy, the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu sent the evidence? Until now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others, knew about. Mr. Faraday must have been trying to keep this secret key safe. As a prosecutor on both the Yatagarasu and smuggling ring cases, that's to be expected. Okay, well... that's odd. What is it? Mr. Faraday didn't mention anything about a knife in his organizer. That certainly is odd. The weapon that was used to kill the Kodopian embassy staff member was the gun. But if that's the case, then where did the knife that was used to murder Mr. Faraday come from? How is this knife even closed, by the way? Does the key fold on top of the blade? Probably. But even then, what's the point of this pen? Have we still not found a purpose for this? I still have no idea what it's for. All we know is that it has a quality nib. Like, that's the only bit of information it has. It also has the little numbers on the bottom, but I don't think that's relevant. Isn't it obvious? It was brought into the courthouse by Mr. Rel. That's the only logical conclusion, right? No, because it's not that easy to smuggle a weapon like that in here. Every person who enters the courthouse doors is checked thoroughly for contraband. Furthermore, the suspect was handcuffed, making it impossible for him to bring a knife as large as this one. In that case, how do you suppose the knife ended up inside the courthouse? I need to think carefully here. There's nothing related to the knife written anywhere in Mr. Faraday's organizer. However, it is a fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Conversely, there is one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer that no one has claimed to have seen today. So in order to solve this mystery, I believe I will need to take another good look at the evidence. Miles Edgeworth, can I take the fact that you have yet to answer me to mean that you don't have an answer for me? Actually, I do know the answer, Francisco. What? Then what is it? One of the pieces of evidence we've been holding has been hiding a secret of its own. And it was through this piece of evidence that the knife was brought into the courthouse. Oh, okay, we have a third page now. This Yatagarasu's key Mr. Faraday mentions in his organizer. This is how the knife was brought into the courthouse. You're not making any sense, Miles Edgeworth. You just need to look a bit closer, Franziska, to see what I mean. don't the color and ornamentation of the key's handle remind you of something? They do remind me of the knife. Very good. Both the Yatagarasu's key in this photo and the murderous knife have this very unique design on their handles. Furthermore, even though Mr. Faraday mentions the Yatagarasu's key, the only object we found at the crime scene was the knife. You don't seriously mean to say... It appears that you finally caught up. And yes, I do mean to say that these two pieces are, in fact, one and the same. But that's impossible. Even if that is what you believe, we should still investigate this possibility. Now then, let's examine this knife in a little more detail. Oh, finally. Do I have to hit the bit in the bottom? Just making sure there's nothing else of note. Yep, there we go. I can't believe it turned into a key. I think there was such a trick to this thing. So, the weapon used to kill Mr. Faraday is actually the key Yatagarasu stole. This piece of information is more critical than anything we've learned up until now. Frankly, I'm shocked. Mr. Faraday only mentioned the key aspect of this piece of evidence in his organizer. It's possible that even he had no idea the key was hiding a knife and blade inside. But if that's true, then only someone who knew about the key to the knife trick could have killed Mr. Faraday. Wait, really? Really? Is that what we're assuming? We're assuming that he didn't know that it was a knife, even though it has this big opening in the side and where you could clearly see the knife on the inside. Can I look in this 3D again? No. Okay. Well, I suppose we'll just have to go with it. Also, even though it is a key, it kind of resembles a pick. Even among law enforcement, this key was top secret. We're looking for someone who knew even more about the key than Mr. Faraday, meaning that the only person it could be is the one who sent the key in the first place. The great thief, Yatagarasu. Then maybe Mr. Rel really was the Yatagarasu, and he was the one who killed Mr. Faraday. Isn't that one possible scenario? No, not really. Especially since Mr. Faraday was absolutely convinced that Mr. Rel was not the Yatagarasu. Besides, as Detective Bad said earlier, but when we questioned Rel about what was sent along with the white card, Rel had no idea what it was. I see. Alright then, I guess the person who knows the trick behind this key is someone else, and that person is the real Yatagarasu. It seems that this key is truly the key to solving this case. That's odd. We're short one piece of evidence. And the piece that's missing is a surveillance video that was played in the court. The surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go? It's in the TV. The video showing the moment in which Mr. Rel committed the murder. Where could it have gone indeed? Are you done with your inspection of the evidence? Yes, I'm finished. However, Your Honor, I am missing a single piece of prosecutorial evidence. Your Honor, were you derelict in your duties? What? No, I dare not lick my duties. What do you take me for? No, Your Honor, the most important piece of evidence in today's trial. Hold on, let me check something real quick. Okay, we're good. The surveillance video is not amongst the evidence you laid out for me. But I brought Mr. Faraday's whole bag with me from the crime scene. Maybe the tape is still somewhere at the crime scene? Yes, it's in the TV. There's something wrong here. Something about this missing piece of evidence. It would appear that for me to find the answers I seek, I'll have to pay another visit to the scene of the crime, defendant lobby number 2. Oh, you're gonna teleport me there? Yep, okay. Were the bodies gone originally? I don't remember this room. All I remember was that there was a TV because I saw it in the other room. Also, why is there a tea set in here? It's probably not important. That's Detective Bad. But who is he with? I've never seen that officer before. Oh, I recognize that music. I think. So, did you find it? No, not yet, and I looked everywhere. I see. Well then, please continue with the search. Understood. I'll continue the search. Ooh, I recognize that walk as well. Heh, so you're the one running this show. Prosecutors like you shouldn't even be allowed at crime scenes. How dare you? Just who do you think you are? Where did he show up? I think he showed up in the amusement park? Is that it? I think so, yeah. But I don't remember too much about that case. What was that all about? And who was that man just now? Whoever he was, I've never seen a more impudent officer in my life. Does he even know that we're standing right here behind him? I know you're standing right behind me. What do you want, kids? It looks like you were paying attention after all. Well, yeah, he was looking in a mirror. Of course I was. I have eyes in the back of my head. Ah, so that mirror isn't for vanity's sake. It's for him to keep an eye out on who or what is behind him at all times. So, tell me, Detective Bad, who was that rude man just now? The guy came here, from the Republic of Zhang Fa to study. He's Agent Lang. He's trying everything he can to revive the lost honor of his family. He's traveling the world to study different philosophies of attainment from scratch. By visiting various police departments around the world, he has a lot of dedication. He's still just a rookie cop, but I sense a strong grudge of some sort from him. The guy's more useful than Gumshoe, even if he is rude. Well, he sure has a lot of guts to come to this country and give prosecutors a hard time. I agree. However, I can think of one young lady that statement also applies to. Anyway, what was that agent looking for, Detective Bad? Earlier, that little girl was poking around in lobby number 1 as well. Like I said before, it's got nothing to do with the two of you. I highly doubt that it had nothing to do with me. Fine. If this is the game I must play, then I will take this opportunity to draw out what he's been hiding and what happened to in this room straight from him. Can I check the TV first? That is one tiny TV. What are you on about? That is a big TV. Detective Gumshoe is rather shocked at this and said it's huge in comparison to his own. Ha! Anything you compare with something he owns will always seem grandiose. Speaking of grandiose, I'd say that ego of yours could use a little deflating. Okay, alright, I suppose I'll talk to Bad. Earlier, you were in lobby number 1, and now you're here in lobby number 2. You are quite the busy man, Detective Bad. Multiple returns to a crime scene brings out success. That's what we detectives say. I see. In that case, you wouldn't mind if I asked about what happened again, correct? I don't have anything left to say to you, boy. Boy? You'll see. I will draw my answer from you one way or another. Would it kill you to help us even a tiny bit in our investigation? I gave Faraday's notebook to the judge earlier. That's help enough, don't you think? Please, we are asking you just a bit more of your cooperation. Don't push me, kid. Can I present the key to him immediately? Detective Bad, did you know of the existence of this item in the photograph? Of course I did. It's my job to know everything related to the Yatagarasu case. In that case, let me ask you something. Did you know that the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and this Yatagarasu's key are one and the same? What? That's impossible. It looks like he didn't know after all. This piece of evidence, which we call the Yatagarasu's key, is actually a well-camouflaged knife. Mr. Faraday was planning to use this Yatagarasu's key to prove that Mr. Rel was not the real Yatagarasu. Isn't that correct? I guess so. However, Mr. Faraday had no idea that it was in fact a knife. Yeah, I have to admit, neither one of us knew that fact. And if neither one of us knew, then no one in the law enforcement knew either. How do we miss something as big as this? I noticed that since a little while ago, you appear to be searching for something. I presume that this key is what you were searching for? Yeah, that's right. And why were you searching for it? Because I promised Faraday. I promised that I'd protect that key with my life. But after he was killed, that key disappeared from Faraday's evidence bag. Who would have thought that the key is what took Faraday's life? Detective Bad, so that we may find the truth, please testify for me once more. All right. But it doesn't matter how many times I tell you about what happened. Nothing will change. All right. It seems like I chose the right thing right off the bat. Detective Bad, I ask that you please testify once more about what happened in lobby number 2 and what you experienced in lobby number 1. My answer is still the same. And this is the last time I'm going to do this. That's fine, because I only need this one last time to clear everything up and find the truth behind this case. Ooh, okay, finally, into some actual testimony. Took long enough, eh? 47 minutes? Bitrate doing well? Actually a bit worse than usual, but I guess it's fine. Because at least it's consistent. I was in lobby number 1, talking with you. We were talking about some trivial things. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. When we heard it, you and I immediately dashed out into the hallway together. I saw Gumshoe goofing around there, and then we all ran into lobby number 2. It sounds like the exact same story he told us before. Indeed. However, I feel that we have yet to draw out all the information that we can. Well, let's see. Do I have anything in my evidence to draw attention to the television? Let me see. It would be something relatively new. Perhaps in here? Well, this is the only thing I think that I have that mentions the surveillance tape. Okay, well, I'll start probably pressing here. I was hoping you could expand on what exactly you were discussing with Miss Yu. Trivial stuff. It was nothing important. That's for me to decide. Alright, I suppose that's for him to decide. Moving on then. Until you heard the gunshot, did you notice anything else that was out of the ordinary? I didn't hear any other strange sounds. Until that gunshot. If the gunshot Detective Bad heard was really the one from the murder, that would give the other piece of evidence an entirely different meaning. I ask you please amend your testimony of that statement just now. Sure. Didn't hear any other strange sounds until the gunshot, huh? Which means you didn't hear the balloon. I'm gonna press this first. Detective Bad, you honestly don't remember hearing anything else. Yeah. Is it possible that you were so involved in your conversation that you missed something? I've been a detective for a long time, even if I were involved in something. I've got quite the habit of keeping tabs on everything that goes on around me. If there had been some other strange sound, you can be sure I would have heard it. I suppose with this detective, it's probably very likely. So, the gunshot. No, okay, so we gotta present the balloon then. Detective Bad, does this balloon fragment remind you of anything? It's the same color as the one Kay was holding. Oh, so you knew about the girl's balloon? Yeah, I was sitting with her up in the gallery. During the recess, just before we split up, I filled that balloon up for her. Well, as you may have already surmised, this piece did indeed come from Kay's balloon. So, what about the balloon? I wonder if you might remember hearing this balloon pop at some point. What are you getting at? This fragment was found in the hallway right in front of the lobby number 2. Furthermore, it was the sound of this balloon popping that the judge mistook as a gunshot. Oh? So the sound the judge heard was not actually a gunshot, huh? On top of that, His Honor said that he heard the balloon pop about 20 minutes before the trial was to reconvene. Yes, which means that His Honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway when you were in lobby number 1, Detective Bad. And if you were in lobby number 1 at that time, you were close enough that you should have heard the balloon popping as well. So... What? Don't give me a so. We just proved that there is a flaw in your testimony. The crackling of the truth is louder than the sound of your sweet naivete cracking. And since you kids don't seem to know, let me fill you in on something. Have you ever stopped to think why the doors and walls of this place seem so rugged? That's because they were designed to keep secrets from being leaked. What is that supposed to mean? The doors and walls are super thick. The window panes are double layered. To top it all off, even the curtains are made of a special sound-absorbing material. Then you mean... Since I was shut up inside lobby number 1, there was no way I could have heard that sound. No! Ugh. I knew that's what he was going to say. Then that means that Scruffface's testimony is completely useless. If the rooms are soundproof, then of course you wouldn't hear any sign of a struggle. Ugh. That's also why it's only natural that I didn't hear the balloon popping. Now, do you get it, kids? Miles, I thought we were supposed to be the ones finding flaws in his logic. Not the other way around. The other way around? It's not possible to hear the sound of a balloon popping if one were in lobby number 1. However, we examine the situation in reverse. The person standing in the hallway should not be able to hear the real gunshot either. And yet, Detective Gumshoe claims to have heard it when he was standing in the hallway. Detective Bad? If that is the case, how exactly did you hear the gunshot? What do you mean, how? I just did. It would appear that you have yet to realize a contradiction in your own words. Oh? How so? If the rooms are as soundproof as you say they are, then how did the sound of the gunshot enter your ears? I see what you mean. I guess I'm more out of it from Faraday's murder than I had thought. Which means exactly what, Miles? In the end, what does it all boil down to? It boils down to this. There must be a reason as to how Detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard a gunshot they theoretically couldn't have. It looks like we need to examine the state of the crime scene again, huh? State of the crime scene? Wait, can it be? It's that ultra-strong perfume you wears. She spilled some of it. Okay, so the window was opened, and you heard the gunshot through the window, which was being played on the TV. Got it. And way too noisy. Oh, I did not remember that. Well, I mean, obviously I didn't remember that. I remember most of this. The surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go? Alright, here we go. Lobby window number 2, and dissipating the spell. Smell, not a spell. Bam! It's simply not possible for the killer to have escaped through the barred windows. And yet the fragrance of the perfume managed to escape from defendant lobby number 1. Of course, incorporeal things can move freely through these open barred windows. Loud television. And open... do I put it on the missing evidence first? Or the window first? Probably the window first. There we go. Now then, what else besides smell can go both in and out of an open barred window? The answer is sound. So no matter how careful the killer was, if the windows were open, the jig would be up. And since the windows in both defendant lobby number 1 and the hallway were open, that explains how the sound of a gunshot could be heard in both locations. And final piece. Go together. Snap. Well, there's no snap sound, but you know what I mean. The missing piece of evidence is a video that shows the moment in which Mr. Rell killed the embassy staff member. The sound of the gunshot left quite an impression on me when it would play during the trial. The video should have been returned to Mr. Faraday's evidence bag for the recess, and brought back here. If it disappeared after that time, then it's possible that the tape is still here in this room. Eureka! The evidence that the missing evidence created for me is the gunshot sound that no one should have been able to hear in the first place. Miles, what have you been thinking about? stop wasting time thinking. Let's start looking around again. It's not a waste of time to think, for I have figured out where we should look. And where would that be? I believe we should examine the television. The TV. Well, you kids have fun. Go ahead and examine whatever you like. This is a whole investigation for this? Really? Alright. There's a video player. There seems to be a video and tape inside. It looks like it. The tape must have stopped on its own when it reached the end. This tape. Could it not be the missing surveillance tape? I suppose, but... Detective Bad, would it be alright with you if I verified the contents of this video? Sure. Knock yourself out. Alright, then let's rewind it and see what we have. If I remember correctly, the footage of Rail killing the embassy staff member should be at about the 30-minute mark from the start of the tape. Understood. This should be about right. Now then, let's see. This is the footage of Mr. Rail shooting the embassy staff member. I knew it. The missing piece of evidence, the surveillance video, was here all along. This sound. What's the meaning of this? It appears that Detective Bad has figured out the true source of the gunshot he heard. With this, I think we can figure out the trick behind this double murder. Do you mean that you figured it all out, then? Yes. All I had to do now is show what the gunshot Detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from. Fine. In that case, show me what you've deduced. Really? Okay, fine. Deduce. Oh, okay. Is this how it works? I did not remember this. In that case, I should probably start with the TV. This... Okay, no, that's... Okay, well, I suppose it's time for me to relearn how this little segment goes. Okay, well, this is actually a separate part than the TV, so we'll try this next. No, that's not it. Do I just place it on the window, then? Okay. Just place it on the window. Got it. If the door and windows of the crime scene, namely, this room that we're in, were closed, the killer could have used the gun and no one would have been the wiser. That's true. This courthouse does seem to be well designed for such a thing, as it were. However, what happened in reality was Detective Gumshoe, Detective Bad, and Miss Yu. All three of them heard the gunshot. Well, the windows in lobby number 1 and number 2 in the hallway were open. So naturally, the people in those locations could hear it. But then, why would the criminal open the window in the first place? To allow the gunshot to be heard, I suppose. Correct. That's the only logical conclusion we can draw from this. But why was that necessary in the first place? I want a real answer, Miles. I demand satisfaction. Very well. I believe that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of a certain fact, which is when the crime took place. The killer wanted to fabricate the time of death to their precise wishes, and they used the gunshot in the surveillance video to do so. So that's why the tape was left running. You mean the gunshot I heard was from this video? Yes. Okay, please stop repeating it. Yes, which means that the murders really occurred at an earlier time than we thought. It must have been during the recess, but before Detective Gumshoe was on guard duty. Someone who has no alibi for that time period, and planned this crime out in advance. That person is the real killer. Alright, that was a very, very short investigation section. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, what is it? Miss Yu is asking for you. She's in the courtroom. She says that she's identified the murderer, but that she wants to clarify something. It looks like Miss Yu is still investigating something. Understood. Please tell her that I will be right over. I'll come along. I want to hear what she has to say. it would appear that the time has come to uncover the truth. To be continued. Alright. I never seem to make it to these little save points. Do I? Always ending just short. Courtroom number 3. This should be the end, yeah? Can't imagine there's anything after this. Okay. What are you doing here? Oh, hello, mister. I'm still investigating. But the object you are looking for has already... hold it. Oh, hold it. Okay, don't mind him. Please continue with your investigation. Okay, you got it. Detective Bad, haven't we already found what you were looking for? If it means I can keep her in the dark just a little longer, any little task will do. Oh, you're more sympathetic than I thought. Alright, here we go. What's that desk in the... below the judge for? In this scenario? I don't believe... If that was... no, that wasn't present. Oh, I guess it's where the... where it gets typed up. Okay, the transcript's made. Yeah. I've been waiting for you, Edgeworth. Oh, that's the wrong voice. I've also been waiting for the moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest. Oh, the moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest? Wasn't that when we placed Detective Gumshoe under arrest? I think we've more than solved this case already. Don't you? We'll see. It all depends on whether or not your logic holds. Oh, I see. We have a viewer in the gallery. And why even Mr. Bad is here? A viewer in the gallery? I'm hardly just a bystander. I have a duty to see this case through to the end, no matter how it turns out. Oh, is that right? Anyway, I thought you might like to hear what I've slaved away to find out. I've taken statements on every single person's movements during the time when our suspect was in the hallway. I also confirmed that there is no possible route of escape from lobby number 2. Therefore, the killer must, without a doubt, be Detective Gumshoe. And that's all you have? Yeah, that's all there is to my conclusion in this case. Sorry, but I beg to differ. In a trial, there's always time for a rebuttal, and we are standing in a court of law. It'd be more than appropriate to follow the rules of court in this case, don't you think? Oh, how absolutely like a rookie to think such a thing. But alright, I'll play along and give you a proper testimony. If my logic is correct, then I've already won. All I have to do now is prove it, by showing who the real killer is. Misuse argument. Everyone sans a suspect has an alibi for when the gun went off. Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, right? I also confirm that there is no possible escape route from lobby number 2, which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion, that Detective Gumshoe is the killer. Now that you have your testimony, I expect a good rebuttal, Edgeworth. But of course. There's no need to confront her logic head-on right now. I should instead focus on drawing out any trump card she has up her sleeve. Okay, that was my thought as well. Good, good. Seems that we are in sync. The suspect. But I thought that Detective Gumshoe's alibi had already been proven. Oh, you're joking. Are you joking, Edgeworth? I assure you, this is no joke. Look, I know you just heard from the judge earlier that the detective was in the hallway with Mr. Faraday's daughter eating a Swiss roll. Yes, that is correct. But see, that was 20 minutes before the real gunshot went off, right? And the problem is, there's no one else who can corroborate what he did since that snacking. I see she's done her research well. Which means that I should focus on drawing up... Okay, yep. Whether they have been thoroughly investigated or not is for me to decide. Oh, the scrunched eyebrows and line on your forehead are back! Anyway, even if you believe it hasn't been exhaustive, the crime scene, lobby number 2, has no way out other than the hallway Detective Gumshoe was standing in. And because he claimed to be there, that makes him the only possible suspect. But isn't it also possible that someone escaped through a window and into the garden? It's the first place everyone looked silly. The police aren't a bunch of lazy bums. They looked into every possibility, you know. Isn't that right, Mr. Bad? Yeah. There wasn't a scrap of evidence to suggest someone used one of the windows. There also weren't any footprints or anything in the courtyard garden. I suppose they really did check everything that could be relevant to the case. Are you absolutely positive that there are no possible routes of escape? Of course I'm sure. And why are you so certain? This is a courthouse, the place where criminals are brought to be judged. If there was an escape route, I'm sure every criminal would be using it to escape. It's just common sense. Miles Edgeworth, I suggest you use a bit more of it in the future. Ugh. You may think it's unshakable, but to me there are still too many unanswered questions. For example, who was it that placed the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand? But you're the only one still wondering that. Detective Gumshoe probably had no idea which hand Mr. Faraday used to write with. Even if you know someone, it doesn't mean you know which hand they write with, right? I mean, I certainly don't care about that sort of thing. Oh, is this where the pen comes into play? I'm not about to let her get a rise out of me with such a flippant statement. I suppose we've reached the end now. I already have my trump card ready. All that remains is to play it. But before I do, I think I should inquire into a little something about her argument. You said earlier that you confirmed the alibis of every person other than the suspect. However, I don't recall either Franziska or myself speaking with you about the subject. But there were witnesses. For you, there was your mentor who gave you an alibi. I see. As for the little Missy, she came to the courthouse during the recess, and was stopped by a security guard at the door to the hallway. She gave him quite a whipping for that, or so I heard. I'm the daughter of Manfred von Karma, and I will not be forcibly stopped by a guard, or bailiff, or anyone else. Wait, so basically the only reason Franziska bothered to show up today was because she found out that I was to be the replacement prosecutor? By the way, Miss Yu, what about everyone's alibis before Detective Gumshoe was assigned to guard duty? What about them? Have you looked into what people were doing during that span of time? What kind of idiot do you take me for? It doesn't matter when the killer went into lobby number 2. From the time we heard the gunshot to the time Mr. Bad and I arrived on the scene, as we dashed from lobby number 1, the only person who could have committed the crime was Detective Gumshoe. Yes, let's talk about when you and Detective Bad heard that gunshot, shall we? I suppose that if we go by your logic, then Detective Gumshoe is the only one. However, what if the crime had occurred at an entirely different time than when the gunshot you heard went off? What then? That gunshot was a trap meant to manipulate our perception of... Sadly, your explanation is very lacking, Edgeworth. The gunshot we heard in lobby number 1, care to explain how that could have been fabricated?
Take that!
That tape? Yes, that's exactly what you think it is. This is the surveillance tape from Mr. Rell the prosecution presented in today's Okay, try that again. This is the surveillance tape of Mr. Rell the prosecution presented in today's trial. This was found loaded in the video player in lobby number 2. That was connected to the large television that had its volume turned all the way up. You can't honestly mean that the sound we heard was the gunshot in the video. I need to drink water. Hold on. Alright, I'm good. The murders occurred much earlier than when anyone heard the gunshot. Huh? That's the only thing I can think of, too. After committing double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. turned the television's volume all the way up, and left the video to play. If played from the beginning, it would take about 30 minutes for the gunshot sound to come on. And since we now know that this method of time manipulation is possible, it opens up the possibility that the killer is someone other than Detective Gumshoe. Sounds from a television don't amount to much here, but of course Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth and Little Miss Von Karma already knew that much from the very beginning, right? But of course we knew. Didn't we, Miles? Yes, of course. We know about the soundproof quality of this courthouse's rooms. Of course, I'm not about to admit we had no idea until only a little while ago. That's right, and if the rooms are soundproof, then we should not have been able to hear it. And yet, we heard the gunshot clear as day. And that's it. End of story. But it's not. The window was open. There is actually one common point between lobby number 1 and lobby number 2. And it is that despite the fact that both rooms have air conditioners installed, a window was open in each. Now, we know that the window in lobby number 2 was opened by the killer. However, a window in lobby number 1 was also opened. Oh, it's probably just a coincidence that they were both open at the time. It was no mere coincidence, I assure you. Why was that window opened in lobby number 1? The answer is that a certain person did something to cause the window to be opened. And the person who triggered that action, that person is the real guilty party. The real killer in this double murder is you. Miss Callisto Yu. I hereby formally indict you of the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. Huh? What? You indict me? Are you serious, Miles? Why do you think she is the killer? I don't understand her motive just yet. But of course, I'm serious. Because she is the only one who could have done it. Well, Miss Yu, do you still feel like laughing now? And of course I do, Edgeworth. My argument must not have been tight enough yet. Although I never thought things would spiral into this. But I'll have you know I'm enjoying this dance quite a bit. I guess this means it's time for my own rebuttal now, right? Alright, what have you got? You argue that the window was opened. However, do you have proof that I was the one who did that? Furthermore, do you have proof that the tape was used in committing the crime? Frankly, I'm shocked at you for going around accusing people of murder like this. Especially with logic as full of holes as yours. Wow, that was a terrible argument. This is where it really starts. I mustn't let my guard down for even a second, or the truth will blow away. Now is the time to put the patented Von Karma perfect proof to the test. So I'm going to start with the press just to be safe, but it's pretty clear what we have to do here. No, you did not open it. Bad did, but you were the one who caused him to do so. Evidence? All I need to do is have some prints analyzed and we know straight away. Be my guest. She sounds as though she has a room to maneuver, which means, even if we were able to lift prints, they'd only show that it was someone else. But, why would that someone else? Okay, yeah, just skip this. We already know what this is. I was just pressing to be careful. Presents the bottle of perfume. I'm sure you've seen this before, haven't you, Miss Yu? Ah, Edgeworth, I never knew you were into wearing that kind of perfume. It's not exactly what I'd recommend for boys, but you know. What? This isn't mine. That's right, it's mine, and I received it from Detective Bad, you see. Miss Yu, you can pretend all you like, but we know, at least, this much for sure. That you are the one who gave this bottle of perfume to Detective Bad. Oh, and that you're super easy to rile up. So, what about the perfume? While you were in lobby number 1, you made a big show of spilling some of this perfume. That's according to Detective Bad. Oh, I know. You also knew that if you spilled it, he would naturally move to open a window. Come now, I've already told you that's all just a big coincidence. After we opened the window in lobby number 1, I just left it open, you know. So maybe it was just dumb luck that he heard the gunshot through the window. The timing of when you were going to spill the perfume is something you could control. And the most important fact about this case is when people were made to hear the shots. Furthermore, it would have been pointless if you didn't have an alibi for yourself at the time. You mean, Miss Yu, you were the one who called Detective Bad into lobby number 1, when you saw him bring Detective Gumshoe into the hallway. Is that correct? All of the day's premeditated events could only have been thought up by you, Miss Yu. You accused me of murder on the fact that I spilled a little perfume. Well, allow me to say this much. I couldn't have killed Mr. Faraday. Would you care to testify as to why? Look, I've had a lot of fun today, really. But I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make it the last testimony and wrap up this absurd case once and for all. Alright. Why, it couldn't be me. Accusing someone of murder over a spilled bottle of perfume is a bit over the top. But I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected of a disciple of Von Karma. In any case, it simply could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from. Wow, her arguments are trash. And as I go through this, I'm filled more and more with the feeling of deja vu in saying that. In fact, I remember saying that a lot in the early cases. If my memory is correct, then I can see why people aren't a fan of this one in particular. This one being this game. Miles, her testimony is flawless. Franziska, she threw an ad hominem in there. What are you on about? Oh my. Okay, well, at least you're not going to take the stand for another couple years. Yes, but no matter what sort of trick she may try to pull, she won't escape me. If I'm lacking in information, I'll just draw it out of her. Nothing about this testimony is good. What do you mean flawless? Okay, well, let me see. Obviously the knife is the selling point. But it was brought here as a key. So we're just going to present the key. Nope, okay. In that case, I present the knife then, right? Or perhaps do I press? I mean, it doesn't matter. We have enough HP. I'll try both. And also I'll try the notebook as well, before I press. And if this is wrong, I'll actually read the "you got it wrong" dialogue. Your statement is nothing before this perfect piece of evidence. I don't think I'd call that perfect. Okay, yeah, okay, that's fine. I'll press it. At this rate, she will inevitably escape. But if she really was the one who killed Mr. Faraday, then she must have known about the existence of the knife. I'm sorry, Miss Yu. Maybe you weren't aware. However, the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday was taken from his evidence bag. But, Miles, what do you think you're doing? I'm drawing the truth out of her. That's what I'm doing. Huh? But I don't recall a knife being present at the trial earlier today. Well, I suppose that's because the evidence was something Mr. Faraday had yet to use. Oh, so that's what you're trying to do. Look, why don't you cut it out with the lies? I've already figured you out. There was no knife inside Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. The only evidence he had yet to present was the key the Yagurasu had sent. And unless a key can magically turn into a knife, you really don't have a leg to stand on. Nope, it's not magic. It's a butterfly knife. You guys really should have figured that out when it was in police custody. Did you really think you could trap me? Come now, be honest. I never intended to do such a thing. It was all a misunderstanding on my part. In any case, I wonder if you might append what you said to your testimony. Sure. Why not? I'll even say it as many times as you'd like. Alright, there we go. Miss Yu, I wonder if you might take a look at this photo for me. This is a picture of the key the Yagurasu sent to the police. However, while it may look like a key at first glance, It, in fact, has the secret ability to transform into a knife. Which means that what was inside Mr. Faraday's bag was both the Yatagrasu's key and the murderous knife. You knew that the key was inside Mr. Faraday's bag, did you not? Yes. Well, with the Yatagrasu's key alone, it's more than possible to kill Mr. Faraday. Do you understand now? Just knowing of the existence of the Yatagrasu's key. Oh. I still haven't had a good look at it. Showing it to me from that far away, you could be lying for all I know. You would, even now, still feign ignorance. I'm not feigning anything. But we can't have you accusing me of a crime with false evidence now, can we? I mean, Mr. Von Karma, I've heard some very interesting rumors about him. Are you mocking my papa? Don't you dare sully the good name of my mentor. Now, take a good look. This piece of evidence is more than real. Wow. Who knew there was such a trick to this thing? Are you satisfied now? But of course, you knew from the very beginning, didn't you? You knew that the knife and the Yatagrasu's key are one and the same. Otherwise, someone like you, who isn't a member of law enforcement, and who would never have been privy to this trick, would have known about it to begin with. Furthermore, that's something the Yatagrasu sent to the police. How did you have knowledge as to what it was? Actually, I heard it from Mr. Faraday. Just before he dragged Mr. Rell off, he told me. Oh, that's right, I almost forgot. He also told me about the key turning into a knife at that time. But he didn't tell me about how the key actually transforms. What are you saying? What you are saying is simply not possible. Why? Why are you dragging this out more? Oh, and why not? Because Mr. Faraday himself didn't know about the hidden knife within the key. For within these pages he mentions nothing about a knife. I'm not so sure he would have written everything in his organizer, you know. Wouldn't something of this importance be better to left to oral communication? Unfortunately, that is also impossible, because Detective Bad didn't know about the knife aspect either. What would have been highly classified information, even within the police force, and is something that even the lead detective on the case didn't know. Why would Mr. Faraday have felt the need to share such information with the opposition? Yeah, I guess he wouldn't have much of a reason to. Looks like I gave a pretty lame excuse, huh? How can you laugh at a time like this? She probably just realized the flaw in her logic and is actually in a panic over it. But that's not something we need to concern ourselves with. I suppose you're right. Miss Yu, I'd like to state that I also know how you know the real nature of this knife. Oh, do you now? Well, why don't you put your money where your mouth is and show me? Oh, I will. And I'll wipe that smile off your face by the time we're through. This is it, the moment of truth, the secret behind the Yatagarasu's key. Only one person would have had knowledge of it from the get-go. Who would know from the start that Yatagrasu's key could change into a knife? There is only one person who would have known about the dual nature of the key. And that is the person who sent the Yatagrasu's key to the police. That is to say, the Yatagarasu herself. Are you saying that this lawyer is the great thief Yatagarasu? Miss Yu, you used Mr. Rell to lure Mr. Faraday into a trap, didn't you? You, who profess to bear a grudge against criminals. Why? Why do something like this? Huh? I'm not gonna laugh that whole thing. Is she really Yatagarasu? I don't think so. Who would have thought that you, a stupid rookie prosecutor, would see through me? You're sending the biggest chill down my spine right now, Edgeworth. This feeling of thrill, it's even greater than when I sneak into someplace. You. Oh, she is. You killed Faraday. Why? Answer me, Callisto, you! Callisto Yu. That's not my real name. Because my real identity is... Yes, the great thief, Yatagarasu. Let me tell you something, Edgeworth. Mr. Faraday was one difficult man to deal with. For you see, he had discovered my true identity, which is why I had to erase him from the world of law. I made Rel an offer, an acquittal, for a little favor in return. All he had to do was accuse Mr. Faraday of being the Yatagarasu in court. But once we entered the recess, Rel was dragged off by Mr. Faraday, which threw my plan into a complete mess. I chased after them, and eavesdropped on them through a crack in the door. That Rel caves to only two things: money and authority, just as all thugs do. I feared my plan was going to be ruined if Mr. Faraday held on to Rel any longer. Plus, if I had to let them continue the way they were, I would have been found out. That's why I had no choice. I had to kill them both. But didn't you say that you despised criminals? But do I really? You. Have you forgotten about the KG-8 incident too? Maybe. But what sort of woman would... So then, was it your plan to kill Mr. Faraday with the very evidence that you sent? Well, I had a good idea of what Mr. Faraday was going to do. I anticipated that Mr. Faraday was going to prove that Rel wasn't the Yatagarasu by using this Yatagarasu's key as evidence, and that he would bring it with him. Which is why I thought to use the knife portion. With a weapon as well disguised as this, no one would be the wiser. Because who in their right mind would think that something like this could be a weapon? Literally anyone who holds it. Why did no one figure that out? Also, why are you telling us all this? I casually entered lobby number 2 on the pretext that I had to talk with Mr. Faraday. And in order to get with him, I pretended to be worried about something. He then let me hold the Yatagarasu's key, just like that. He never noticed that I'd changed the key into a knife inside that plastic bag. And he didn't have a chance to take note of the knife that took his life. How could you kill him? I knew him for a long time, you know. At the very least, I thought to give him a quick and painless death. But if you killed Mr. Faraday first, then there was no need for you to kill Mr. Rel as well. I believe I mentioned why we were placing Detective Gumshoe under arrest. Something about having accidentally created an eyewitness, and how that led the killer to think about setting them up as though they'd kill each other. Then the trick with the surveillance tape. Yes, I hadn't actually planned to use a gun. The risk was too high that I'd be caught. However, that is when I remembered the existence of that surveillance tape. Which is why I had Rel help me to set up the crime scene. And after all was said and done, I rewarded him for his hard work with a bullet. You're a defense attorney, aren't you? How could you betray a client? Client? If you want to talk about who was a client of whose first, it was me. I was the client in the murder of the Cadopian embassy staff member, Dead Man. You ordered a hit job? You still haven't figured it out, Mr. Bad. I had Dead Man killed because he was about to give away info about the smuggling ring. Now, who exactly do you think would benefit from such an assassination? It can't be. You're... That's right. I'm a member of the smuggling ring. What? How could this... You don't mean... You're working with Manny Koshin too, do you? Oh, maybe not. Guess you'll never know. The Yatagarasu claims to be noble, but you're just another cold-blooded murderer. Oh, that's right, little girl. The Yatagarasu is just another killer. Oh, be quiet. You. Yatagarasu, you can still run from the law, but you'll never escape it. So, just humbly accept the judgment of this court. Hey, Edgeworth, did you know the Yatagarasu has 3 legs? Do you know why that is? No? Well, let me tell you. I don't actually remember this. Please remind me. It means that the Yatagarasu has more than one razor-sharp way to do her work. Oh. Well, that'll do it. Huh? You really are too naive, Edgeworth. You even handed the Yatagarasu's key right to me without a second thought. Everything may not have gone according to plan, but I'll still gladly take it. Ugh. You mean the key was your real target? And even after I gave you such a great advice, didn't I tell you to always keep a good eye on the criminal? Or you may regret what comes from your negligence. You two, get down! Yeah, I was wondering why they didn't immediately duck. My body. I can't move. Hey, mister, to your right! Huh? You! Okay, well, I guess that's the best action scene they can do with this setup, huh? Are you alright, Franziska? I'm perfectly fine, Miles. Her voice is shaking, but it looks like she's unharmed. Where did Kay go? Huh? Oh, that's a gunshot. September 10th, 7 p.m., District Court, Courtroom number 3. Don't tell me she got away. Sorry, but it looks like she got away. I called the precinct. They should have a perimeter set up soon. Detective Bad, are you alright? I heard a gunshot. I'm okay. Just got another hole in my jacket. How the hell did she get away? This place is a courthouse swarming with police officers. All of them presumably armed. Seriously? Not one of them shot her? Ah, man. I didn't read that dialogue. Let me do that. He may say he's fine, but he looks quite shaken. But more importantly, boy, I mean, Mr. Edgeworth, Miss Von Karma, are you two hurt? Huh? I'm absolutely fine. I'm also alright. Thanks to Kay. Speaking of Kay, where is she? I don't know. She just sort of disappeared. I'll go look for her. Oh, and hey, Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Detective Bad, sir. I'm sorry, I doubted you. Don't worry, sir. It's not your fault. I lied to you guys too, after all. I heard about what happened. From Kay. Lying while giving testimony is still unforgivable. But in this case, you were protecting Kay and her feelings. Looks like you might have what it takes to be a real detective. Huh? Now, don't you ever lose that detective spirit, okay? You got it, Pops. Pops? Watched one too many detective dramas recently, have we? Way to single-handedly destroy the cheery atmosphere with one snarky comment. I should get back to the investigation. I swear, I'll catch you if it's the last thing I do. Be careful, Detective Bad, and take care. Thanks. Well, I'm off. Maybe we'll run into each other again someday. Thanks a bunch, pal. You're the best. You really did find out the truth behind everything. Yes, well, I'm glad we solved everything before you were taken to prison. I can't believe how much trouble I caused you with my testimony, Detective Gumshoe. It was no problem, really. I mean, I lied too, so I didn't help anything. It's not really your fault, Your Honor. Well, even if we didn't have His Honor's testimony, I think that lawyer would have found another way to get you convicted on her behalf. Yeah, I can't believe I was about to get fired during my first week as a detective. Well, so long as you're not fired, you should work hard, give all that you have, and perform your duties well. Oh, and one more thing. Kay left a present for you with me. Well, she did. Oh, what is it? What was it that Kay left for me? The proof of their friendship. Okay, I guess what was it? The pen was used prior. You know, back before I took the 4-month break from this game. It's a courthouse special Swiss roll. Like, can I really have it? Yes, it's a present from you, for you, meant for you, after all. Man, what happened to me there? Oh, thanks a bunch, pal. You have no idea how happy this makes you, pal. I'm gonna eat this right now. Sure, go ahead. Your Swiss rolls Detective Gumshoe and Kay bought together. While the one Kay saved never reached her father, wrong button, it would appear that her sentiments have touched the heart of this detective. He's so happy it's as though he's having a welcome back celebration of his own. Well, I was asked by Kay to give it to him. Woohoo! That was good, pal. I can't believe I got to eat two of these delicious things in one day. It's like I'm in Swiss roll paradise or something. I gotta say thanks to Kay. I gotta thank Kay myself. Hey, wait, where is she? You only noticed just now. Was his mind not present when we discussed her earlier? Detective Bad left to go search for her earlier. Maybe you should go join him. Oh yeah, you betcha, pal. I'm gonna go help him. Oh, but first... You know what, pal? Actually, I guess I shouldn't be so rude to you anymore, huh? I'm gonna stick right by your side from now on, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. I sense nothing but a most troublesome relationship from this ominous statement. We should go home too, Miles. We have to hurry and report what has happened to Papa. Agreed. Well, I'm afraid we must be going now, Detective. Roger, sir. And don't you worry. I'll investigate the next case we're on real well. I'll, be counting on you. The scent of trouble is definitely in the air. Thus, like a bad dream, my first outing at court came to a disturbing end. A few months later, I was finally able to properly stand in court as a prosecutor. But the detective in charge of the investigation was, as I dreaded, Detective Gumshoe. After that, he became my direct subordinate. I have tried, but words fail to describe the immeasurable suffering he has caused me. But I suppose it's just how things are. As for the little girl who suddenly disappeared, she's now... So, do you remember now? Yes, I remember everything. Kay, it's been a while. Yeah, Kay, you sure grew up a lot. Of course, but thank goodness, I thought you two had totally forgotten about me. You know, I was really worried about you after that. Where have you been all this time? Gummy, I didn't know you cared. After my father died, I went to go live with my mother's relatives. They lived really far away, so I wasn't really able to come back here all that much. Oh, is that what happened? Well, I'm just glad you're alright. So, does it all make sense now? You betcha it does. Oh, you know what? I was going to go through my father's bookshelves recently, and... Actually, there are still a number of things that don't make sense, Kay. Huh? First of all, why did you come all this way to see me? And second, why are you calling yourself the Yatagarasu? The Yatagarasu is Callisto Yu, the woman who killed your father. No, you're wrong. The real Yatagarasu was my father. Yeah, I saw that coming a mile away. No, Mr. Faraday was the Yatagarasu. Like I said, I was going through my father's bookshelf recently, and I found a secret diary hidden among his books. I have no regrets in choosing to walk the path of the Yatagarasu. That was written in his diary, and that's how I know for sure. But that's impossible. What's with that look? You don't believe me? It wasn't just the expression on my face. I clearly just said it was impossible just now. Alright then, how do you explain this? It's a way of disarming any security system of the user's choosing. Yep, that's the little thief. Truth be told, this is little Yatagarasu's greatest secret. And this little gizmo was used by my father. Wow, Mr. Faraday wasn't just a great prosecutor, he was really a great thief, huh? Yeah, my father worked really hard to steal the truth. But he was killed, and the Yatagarasu was no more. But despite that, the Yatagarasu has been spotted again recently. Someone other than you. Here, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a look at this article. The Yatagarasu sent the embassy a calling card? Yeah, meaning this person's fake. I'm almost certain that Callisto Yu lady's behind this. because the real Yatagarasu would never send something like a gaudy card out. But the Yatagarasu did send a white card along with anything to be publicized. That's what Detective Bad told me 7 years ago, if memory serves. Well, as soon as I heard the news, I got all wound up, and I knew I couldn't just let it go. So I searched you out, so that I could obtain the truth behind the Yatagarasu. Because if anyone can help me find it, I figured it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. So, you're saying that I have your father's and Miss Yu's identities backwards? Yes, because the real Yatagarasu is noble to the end. And I want to receive the real noble, and I want to revive the real noble Yatagarasu. If I don't, my father will never be able to rest in peace. Kay. Kay, you're so honorable. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I'll always be here to cheer you on, pal. Even if you are honorable, a thief is a thief. And if you are plotting to commit a crime, then I'm afraid I can't be complicit. Mr. Edgeworth, you guys are not making it easy for me. Who am I supposed to support now? Mr. Edgeworth, what I want from you is not to steal something. What I want is the arrest of that evil woman. That evil woman? You mean Callisto Yu? I think it's too hard for me to catch her all by myself. But I thought that since you were able to expose her for who she is, then maybe... Please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you help me? Come to think of it, I do believe I owe you. Huh? Owe me for what? When Miss Yu made her escape, it was you who saved my life. Furthermore, you helped me with the investigation today. I am not so rude as to leave favors unrepaid. Then you mean... Yes. That case has been weighing down on my soul ever since that fateful day. Perhaps the time has come to settle things once and for all. If you don't intend to sully your hands in a crime, then I believe I can help you. Mr. Edgeworth, thank you. Yay, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Isn't that great, Kay? Yeah, it sure is, Gummy. Even though he had completely forgotten about her until just now. What is this? What is with their chummy relationship? The great thief Yatagarasu. After all that time, the true identity of the thief sank back into the darkness. Byrne Faraday, Callisto Yu, and Kay Faraday. That phantasmagorically changing identity of the great thief Yatagarasu. And the Yatagarasu's real goal. It would all come to light the day after I made that promise to Kay. Oh, is that the end? Oh, we made it to the end. Wonderful. Okay, so it would seem that was a flashback case. I was wondering about that, though I didn't voice that thought. Okay. You know what? I think it may have been a short stream, but I'd call that a good one, right? We got through this this case, like I planned to, and it didn't even take 2 hours. Personally, I was expecting to be here for a lot longer, and I would have done an endurance stream to finish off this whole game, since I do have the time, today. But I decided against it since I have other things to do, unfortunately. Like personal things, not work. But yeah, with that, we'll end it. So thank you all for tuning in. This has been Seek of the Scuffed, and I am signing off.